I've been reluctant to talk about this publicly and to my fans, but it's been a while.
For years, those closest to Alan Jackson noticed small signs that something more was happening behind the spotlight, but many overlooked them. Beneath the voice that defined country music and the smile fans adored, there were deeper truths waiting to surface. Now, the latest news has finally come forward, leaving people emotional, surprised, and seeing the legend in a new light. Join us as we discover Alan Jackson's life, his music, and the personal story now unfolding for the world to witness. The journey and legacy of a country legend. Alan Jackson is not just another name in country music. He has been a voice that defined the heart of the genre for more than 3 decades. Whenever his songs play, listeners can almost feel the stories come alive, filled with warmth, faith, love, and the little truths of everyday living. Over the years, his music has reached millions, not only in America, but across the world, making him one of the most admired and respected artists in history. He is the kind of singer who never needed flashy trends or wild changes in style because his authenticity alone carried him. Every song he released felt like a piece of his own life, being shared with people who needed it most. Born in Georgia, Alan grew up with a simple life, one that shaped his sound and his character. His beginnings were modest, but that did not stop him from dreaming big. He found inspiration in classic country voices and gospel music that echoed in small-town churches. That foundation gave him not only the talent to write, but also the ability to connect deeply with anyone who listened. When he moved to Nashville, many wondered if he would make it, but Alan carried something special. He didn't just sing country music, he lived it. His songs reflected family bonds, heartache, simple joys, and the values that touched people across all walks of life. His rise in the late 1980s and early 1990s marked a turning point in country music. Fans were craving honesty, and Alan gave them exactly that. His first big hits quickly climbed the charts, and before long, he was winning awards, filling stadiums, and being recognized as one of the pillars of modern country. Yet, through all the success, he remained grounded. His reputation as a humble and kind-hearted man became just as strong as his reputation as a performer. For many, that balance made him not just a star, but a role model. Over time, Alan's impact became bigger than just the music. His songs captured important cultural moments and emotions that people felt but couldn't always express. From heartfelt ballads to uplifting tunes, his catalog turned into a soundtrack for many lives. Couples played his music at weddings, families leaned on his songs in times of grief, and generations passed his records down like treasures. In this way, Alan's career became something beyond entertainment. It became part of people's personal histories. In recent years, Alan has continued to be celebrated as a legend, but his journey has not been without challenges. He has spoken openly about his health struggles, specifically his battle with Charcot-Marie tooth disease, a condition that affects balance and mobility. When he revealed this, fans responded with overwhelming support. They understood that behind the voice that once seemed unstoppable was a man facing real difficulties, just like anyone else. This honesty made them respect him even more. Instead of hiding away, he chose to share his truth, proving once again that authenticity is what makes him unique.
Performance on stage a little bit where I don't feel comfortable and I just want.
This news about his health also made people look back on his career with even more appreciation. They realized that every concert he performed, every note he sang, and every smile he gave on stage was not just entertainment, it was effort, dedication, and love for his audience. Alan never took shortcuts, and even when life became harder, he continued to give his best. That kind of commitment is rare, and it is part of the reason why so many feel connected to him on a deeper level. Family has also been a central part of Alan's story. His marriage, his role as a father, and his devotion to the people closest to him shaped much of the music he shared with the world. He never separated his personal life from his career. Instead, he allowed them to blend, giving fans a glimpse of the values that guided him. His songs about love, loyalty, and home are not just artistic choices. They are reflections of the life he built and cherished. That honesty is blending too, and faced his personal battles with dignity. The new updates feel so powerful because they add another layer to a life already filled with meaning. Fans who grew up listening to him understand that his story mirrors the ups and downs of life itself, full of joy, challenges, and resilience. Alan Jackson's place in history is already secure, but the current moment shines a new light on what his presence truly means. It is not just about the number of records sold, the awards earned, or the tours completed. It is about the way his voice has held people together, comforted them, and given them hope through difficult times. The breaking news surrounding him now brings a mixture of sadness, pride, and reflection, but at its core, It reminds the world why he matters so much. When people think of Alan today, they don't just see a country icon. They see a man who represents strength, humility, and truth. The latest headlines may have surprised many, but they have also opened the door for fans to celebrate him even more. It shows that behind every legendary career, there is a real person with real battles and real emotions. And that is what makes his journey more beautiful, more relatable, and more inspiring than ever. The headlines that stopped fans in their tracks.
Finale show in Nashville next summer sometime.
When the latest news about Alan Jackson surfaced, it wasn't just another entertainment headline. It was a revelation that stopped fans in their tracks. For decades, Alan has stood as one of country music's most enduring voices, the man whose songs felt like stories lifted straight from life. His music carried weddings, heartbreaks, Sunday mornings, and long drives. And in return, fans saw him as more than an artist. They saw him as family. That's why the announcement about his health struck so deeply. It wasn't distant, it felt personal. Alan revealed that he has been living with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease, a rare condition that affects the nerves and muscles, making simple movements more difficult over time. While the diagnosis was shared with grace, the impact was heavy. Fans who had watched him perform with such ease now realize the unseen battles he has been quietly facing. Suddenly, every step across a stage, every chord strummed, and every note sung seemed like an act of strength. The honesty of his revelation set the tone. Alan didn't frame it as the end of his career or the closing of a chapter. Instead, he presented it as another part of his journey. This openness made the news even more powerful. People weren't just hearing about an illness. They were witnessing a man continue to carry himself with dignity, no matter the challenge.
You know what's going on. I don't want them to think I'm drunk on stage because I'm having problems with.
The media covered the story widely, but it was the fans' voices that rose the loudest. They shared how his music had lifted them in hard times, and now it was their turn to lift him. Messages of love filled social platforms within hours of the announcement. Support poured in not only from lifelong listeners, but also from people newly discovering his music, moved by his courage to speak up.
I just felt like I had to end it all.
Industry insiders also noted that Alan's decision to go public could spark greater awareness of a condition few knew about. By attaching a well-known name to the disease, Alan shone a light that might help others who live with the same struggles. In this way, the announcement became more than personal. It became purposeful. Still, the news carried a weight that fans couldn't ignore. For years, many had sensed subtle signs on stage, moments when Alan leaned for support or seemed less steady on his feet. Now, those moments had context. Yet instead of focusing on sadness, people reframed them as proof of his strength. The idea that he continued to perform, record, and give his best despite the difficulties only deepened the respect he already commanded. What made this revelation especially striking was the timing. Alan has already cemented his place as a legend, with decades of hits, countless awards, and a legacy few can rival. To learn about his personal struggles now, at a point when his legacy is undeniable, shifted the conversation from success to resilience. Fans weren't just celebrating his music anymore. They were honoring the man behind it. The story quickly became more than just a headline. It became a collective moment of reflection. People began asking what this meant for his future. Would he continue performing? Would there be more albums? How would the industry respond? These questions didn't come from curiosity alone, but from concern and love. Everyone wanted to know how Alan would navigate this new chapter, and more importantly, how they could continue to stand with him. The announcement also reminded many that stars are human. Behind every stage light and award is a person with challenges, fears, and hopes. By being honest, Alan bridged the gap between artist and audience even more deeply. He didn't just give people songs, they now shared in his reality, making the connection stronger than ever. This news was not the kind that fades in a day. It continues to echo, shaping the way fans listen to his songs, view his career, and think about his future. It has added a new layer to his story, one that is emotional, inspiring, and unforgettable. And while the headlines may focus on the diagnosis, the true heart of the story lies in the strength with which Alan Jackson continues to move forward. How fans united in love and support. When the news about Alan Jackson reached the public, the first wave of response came not from critics or industry leaders, but from the people who have always been at the heart of his career, his fans. Across social media platforms, radio call-ins, and fan clubs, there was a powerful outpouring of emotion that proved once again just how deeply Alan Jackson is loved. The reaction wasn't just about sadness or concern. It was about gratitude, loyalty, and the shared memories his music has created over decades. Many fans immediately expressed their support with heartfelt messages. They shared personal stories about how Alan's songs became soundtracks to their lives, playing at weddings, family gatherings, long road trips, or quiet moments of comfort. For these listeners, hearing about his health struggles felt personal, almost like learning that a close family member was facing a difficult time. Instead of turning away, they rallied closer, reminding him and the world that his music has left an everlasting mark on millions. The online response was particularly striking. Hashtags with Alan's name began trending as fans posted photos from concerts, lyrics that had touched their hearts, and emotional notes of encouragement. People from different generations joined in, showing how his music has bridged age gaps. Parents wrote about passing his songs down to their children, while younger fans described discovering his albums through their grandparents. This unity highlighted that Alan's career has never been confined to one group. His music belongs to everyone. In fan communities, there was also a collective call to show appreciation while Alan is still here to feel it. Many began organizing tribute projects, such as virtual concerts, video compilations, and letter writing campaigns. Some even suggested planning large gatherings where fans could come together to celebrate his legacy. The underlying theme was clear. People didn't want to wait until later to honor him. They wanted to make sure he could see, hear, and feel the love now. At the same time, the reaction carried a sense of protectiveness. Fans urged the public and the media to respect Alan's privacy, emphasizing that his health journey should not become a spectacle. They wanted him to know that no matter how much or how little he chooses to share, their support would remain steady. This sense of loyalty reflects the bond that Alan has built over the years, not just as a performer, but as someone who has always seemed genuine and approachable. Concert footage resurfaced online as fans reminisced about the times they saw him live. Many commented that every performance now feels even more special in hindsight, knowing the challenges he may have been facing behind the scenes. Clips of him smiling, connecting with the audience, and delivering heartfelt songs took on new meaning. Fans weren't just watching an entertainer, they were watching someone who gave his all despite personal battles. The emotional response wasn't limited to the United States. Messages poured in from around the world, from Canada, Europe, Australia, and beyond. Fans who might never have had the chance to see him live still felt deeply connected through his music. This global reaction revealed that Alan's impact has stretched far beyond Nashville or the country charts. It has touched lives everywhere. Some fans also drew inspiration from his honesty. By sharing his condition publicly, Alan showed vulnerability, and in turn, many people opened up about their own struggles. Online discussions became safe spaces where fans talked about their health battles, their fears, and how music, especially Alan's songs, helped them cope. In this way, the news didn't only spark sympathy, it created a community built on mutual strength and understanding. Radio hosts and country stations played a big role in amplifying these voices. Many dedicated segments to fans calling in and sharing their stories about Alan. The emotion in their voices was impossible to ignore, whether it was laughter at fond memories or tears at the thought of his struggle. These broadcasts turned into collective tributes, reminding listeners that they weren't alone in how they felt. Through all of this, one theme stood out above everything else: love. Fans didn't just admire Alan Jackson for his music, they loved him for the way he made them feel, for the memories he gave them, and for the values he represented. Their response was less about what he might no longer be able to do, and more about everything he has already given. They wanted him to know that his legacy was secure, and that no illness could take away the bond he created with his audience. The fan reaction has set the tone for how the rest of the story unfolds. It has shown that Alan is not facing this chapter of his life alone. He is surrounded by an army of supporters who will stand with him through every step. And as their voices rise in unison, another question emerges. How will the experts, fellow musicians, and the wider country music community build on this wave of love and turn it into lasting recognition for Alan Jackson? Industry reactions to Alan Jackson's revelation. When news about Alan Jackson's health broke, the reaction wasn't limited to fans. It rippled through the entire music world. Critics, fellow musicians, producers, and historians all weighed in, each adding their voice to a conversation that underscored just how deeply Alan's presence has shaped country music. These perspectives matter because they not only echo what fans feel, but also reveal how his story will be remembered by the industry itself. Critics were among the first to highlight Alan's remarkable consistency. They called him one of the last true traditionalists, a singer who never wavered, even as country music shifted toward pop and crossover styles. For them, his revelation about living with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease was not a departure from his career-long authenticity, it was a continuation of it. His decision to be open only reinforced the idea that Alan has always chosen honesty over image, substance over spectacle. From fellow artists, the response was heartfelt and deeply personal. Younger musicians spoke about how his storytelling shaped their own approach to songwriting, teaching them that music should carry meaning, not just chase charts. Many of them grew up listening to Alan, and they see him as a guiding light, a living mentor whose career proves that staying true to one's roots is possible even in a changing industry. Several admitted that his vulnerability has inspired them to be more honest in their own lives and careers. Country legends who've shared stages with Alan responded with empathy and respect. They know better than anyone the toll that decades of touring and performing can take. To them, Alan's openness wasn't just news. It was a reminder of the sacrifices artists make behind the scenes. Some even suggested the industry must do more to care for its icons, not just celebrate them during their peak years, but ensure they are supported as age and health challenges appear. Producers and songwriters who've worked with Alan offered a unique perspective. They described him as an artist who always put the song first, often choosing lyrics and melodies that spoke from the heart over flashy trends. For them, learning of his health struggles only deepened their admiration. It meant that while he was delivering timeless performances, he was also carrying private challenges, a testament to his resilience and dedication. His later recordings, they said, will now carry even greater weight because fans understand the strength behind each note. Historians placed this revelation into a larger context. They compared Alan to other greats whose legacies became even more powerful when their personal battles came to light. They argued that honesty in times of struggle can define an artist as much as their music. In Alan's case, his openness ensures that he will be remembered not just as a performer, but as a figure of courage and faith. For future generations, this will become part of his story, a reminder that greatness lies not only in talent, but also in character. Health organizations and advocates also joined the conversation. By sharing his diagnosis publicly, Alan has raised awareness of a condition many had never heard of before. This ripple effect could bring greater understanding, funding, and research. Experts praised him for using his platform to bring attention to something bigger than himself, showing once again how music can intersect with real life in powerful ways. Within the industry, many see this as a turning point. The question now is how Alan will continue his journey, whether through selective performances, recording projects, or stepping back to focus on family. Whatever his choice, insiders agree that it should be on his terms. Some have already begun suggesting tributes and celebrations, recognizing that now is the time to honor him while he can fully experience the appreciation. It's a rare opportunity to show gratitude in the present instead of waiting until later. Collectively, the voices of critics, fellow artists, and insiders paint a picture of immense respect. They see Alan's news not as the closing of a chapter, but as the opening of a new one, where his legacy grows even richer because of his honesty. His career has already secured his place among the greats, but this moment reminds the world that he is more than an entertainer. He is a symbol of truth, resilience, and humanity in music. And now, as the music community continues to share its perspective, attention shifts toward what comes next. What does the future hold for Alan Jackson? How will his life and career evolve in this new reality? Those questions guide the story forward into the next chapter of his journey. What the future could hold for the country legend. The news about Alan Jackson has left fans and the music industry reflecting not only on his past, but also on what comes next. For more than 30 years, Alan has given the world unforgettable songs, timeless performances, and a voice that carries comfort and truth. Now, with his health struggles openly known, the question naturally becomes how he will move forward and what the future holds for one of country music's most cherished figures. The first reality is that Alan may need to limit his time on stage. Touring has always been demanding, even for the healthiest performers, and his condition makes it harder to travel, stand for long hours, and perform the way he once did. While this may mean fewer concerts or shorter sets, fans have already made it clear that they value his well-being more than constant performances. Many believe that even if he appears less often, the magic of seeing him live will be just as powerful, perhaps even more meaningful because each show will feel like a gift. Recording music, however, may still remain a possibility. Alan's strength has always been his storytelling, and the studio provides a space where he can continue to share his voice without the physical demands of touring. New albums, special collaborations, or even acoustic projects could allow him to keep creating while adjusting to his health needs. Some insiders have even suggested that this period might inspire some of his most heartfelt work yet, as he reflects on his journey, his struggles, and the support he has received from fans. Beyond music, this moment may also lead Alan to spend more time with his family. Throughout his career, he has spoken about how much his wife, daughters, and faith have guided him. Now, with the world's attention on his health, he may choose to prioritize private moments with loved ones over public appearances. For his fans, this choice would not be seen as stepping back, but as a natural part of honoring the values that have always shaped his life. There is also the possibility of tributes and honors from the industry. Many believe that now is the time to celebrate Alan Jackson while he can fully experience the appreciation of his peers and audience. Award shows, tribute concerts, or documentaries could highlight his career and ensure that future generations understand the magnitude of his influence. These moments would not only honor Alan, but also give fans the chance to express their gratitude in a collective way. Importantly, Alan's openness about his condition has already sparked conversations about health awareness. Going forward, he could play a role in raising more understanding and support for people living with Charcot-Marie-Tooth disease. By lending his voice to this cause, he could turn a personal challenge into a powerful platform for change, much like he has always done with his music. No matter which direction Alan takes, the love and loyalty of his fans remain steady. Whether he chooses to slow down, focus on recording, spend time with family, or step into advocacy, people will stand with him. His journey has never been defined by quantity, but by quality. The quality of his songs, his character, and the sincerity he has always shown. That will not change. This moment may mark a shift, but it is not an ending. Instead, it is the beginning of a new chapter, one where Alan Jackson's legacy is not only remembered for what he has already done, but also for the grace and courage with which he faces the future. And as the world reflects on his next steps, another question begins to take shape. How will the story of Alan Jackson be remembered for generations to come? The legacy that lives on. Alan Jackson's story does not end with headlines or breaking news. It continues in the hearts of those who have carried his music through every stage of their lives.
I wrote it from this perspective as though it were
For more than 3 decades, he has been a voice of truth, blending faith, love, heartache, and simple joys into songs that felt like conversations with a friend. Now, as the world learns more about his personal challenges, his legacy is only growing deeper. What makes Alan stand apart is not just his talent, but the way he stayed true to himself. In an industry often shaped by trends and fast fame, he chose honesty and tradition. His music was never about showing off. It was about connection, about giving people a soundtrack they could trust. That commitment has built a bond that no illness or hardship can erase. If anything, it has only made fans hold on tighter, realizing how rare it is to find someone so real in the spotlight. As his health becomes part of his story, people are beginning to see his career in a new light. Every song, every concert, every lyric now carries even more meaning. Fans hear resilience in his voice, strength in his words, and grace in the way he has faced life's changes. For many, Alan is no longer just a performer. He is a symbol of courage and faith, showing that even in difficult times, beauty can be found. The legacy he leaves is also generational. His music has been passed from parents to children, played at milestones, and kept alive in family traditions. Long after headlines fade, those songs will remain, proof that Alan Jackson's impact reaches far beyond charts or awards. His influence has shaped the sound of country music and inspired countless artists who see him as a model of integrity. But perhaps the most powerful part of Alan Jackson's legacy is how it unites people. Across the globe, listeners who may never cross paths still feel connected through his music. His songs have a way of reaching deep into the heart, bringing comfort in moments of sadness, joy in times of celebration, and hope when life feels heavy. These shared emotions create a kind of invisible community, one where people, regardless of age or background, recognize themselves in his melodies. That rare sense of unity is what makes Alan Jackson more than just an artist. He is a bridge between lives, generations, and stories. Even as his future begins to take a different shape, his journey remains full of meaning. Alan Jackson's legacy is not just about the music he has already given, but about the truth and honesty that continue to inspire those who hear his voice. His songs remind us that music is more than sound. It is memory, healing, and love that never fades. Fans will continue to press play in their living rooms, at weddings, family gatherings, or in quiet moments alone, keeping his spirit alive long after the headlines fade away. His openness has also started a larger conversation. one about resilience, honesty, and facing struggles with dignity. In this way, Alan's story is not just about him, but about anyone who has ever carried a burden quietly. He shows that strength is not in pretending everything is perfect, but in continuing to walk forward with faith and grace. That lesson may be the most enduring part of his legacy. And as fans, critics, and fellow musicians reflect on all he has done, one question lingers. How will future generations keep his spirit alive and ensure that Alan Jackson's voice continues to echo through time? Now, what are your thoughts about Alan Jackson's story? Do you believe his legacy will only grow stronger in this new chapter of his life and career? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.